The Knicks fans took over Philadelphia. That was pretty cool. I got to be honest with you. I've given Knicks fans a hard time. They've given me a hard time at times. If you don't know this story, so I used to do New York sports talk radio, and I talked a lot of Knicks, and I was just kind of brutally honest about it. And some of their fans didn't react well to me being brutally honest about it. And, they would come after me, and I would call them the Knicks fan police, the ones who identified with their captor, right? Like the ones who said, don't say anything bad about Jim Dolan in the midst of Jim Dolan doing all bad things for the organization. Those fans. And I even had Carmelo Anthony record a drop for me saying, "Hey, Knicks fans, this is Carmelo Anthony. Leave Robin alone, Knicks fan police." And that was a part of the radio bit. But nevertheless, the whole thing with the after game one and after every game one, when they throw a party in the streets of 7th Avenue or wherever it is, that is a little much for me, especially because it's usually come back to bite them. But the way that Knicks fans were able to take over Philadelphia and Wells Fargo Center and even get Joel Embiid to say something about it was something else. I mean, if you didn't see it, listen to this. This is like inside the arena. This is inside the arena. This is impressive. And I know it's only a handful of fans, but it was enough for Joel Embiid to come out and say, this can't happen and it sucked. And we had our stadium taken over. And you have to realize the commute ain't that bad. The commute ain't that bad at all. Actually, I just did it for WrestleMania. And if you're coming from Jersey, in some ways, getting to Philly ain't much harder than getting into Manhattan back and forth. It's a short drive. It's like 90 minutes. So you don't have to spend the night. You can go there and come back. The train ride is very quick. Here's what Joel Embiid had to say. If you didn't say that, or if you didn't see that, here was Embiid. This is from NBC Sports Philadelphia.
Disappointing. I love our fans. Think it's unfortunate, and I'm not calling them out, but it is disappointing. Obviously, you got a lot of Knicks fans, and they're down the road and never seen it. And I've been here for 10 years. Yeah, no, kind of pisses me off, especially because Philly is considered a sports town. So, they've always shown up, and I don't think that should happen. It's not okay.
And Knicks fans have got. I root for the Nets. Full disclosure, and Knicks and Nets fans have this thing, and whatever. First of all, I think many Knicks fans are actually kind of quasi obsessed with the Nets because they always bring up the Nets and their lack of fans, even when the Knicks are doing well. And at times, I think Knicks fans have been either oversensitive or obnoxious or premature. But in this case, salute. That's the kind of thing as a fan base you should be proud of and you can brag about. They went down to a competing team that's been a perennial playoff team and took over their building. Made it MSG South. That's the real deal. When you want to say you're the best fan base and you want to prove you're the best fan base and all that, well, that's how you do it. Bill L says, yay, Knicks, trade the farm for Embiid in the offseason. No, absolutely not. No way. I mean, Embiid can't make it through a season. Great player, but can't make it through. He's always hurt. So I think that would be a mistake. Look at what the Knicks are doing right now. This is what's crazy. We're going to get to the Suns in a second. But all this Devin Booker talk, Devin Booker to the Knicks, why in the world would Knicks fans be entertaining that right now? Look where they're at. And things have broken in their favor. Yes, Julius Randle's not there. And really, look, this series comes down to two things. It comes down to two things to me. One, game 2. That swung the entire series. Because the Sixers should have won game 2. Right? Let's be real. The Sixers should have won game 2. They didn't. Because of what happened at the end of that game. And then two, the Knicks hustle, which is related to how they won game 2. Josh Hart, every team in the NBA, I know Jalen Brunson's been great, but I want to give Josh Hart credit. Every team in the NBA gets better adding Josh Hart. The guy goes after every offensive rebound like a maniac. You know, if my life depended on one person getting a loose ball, I might choose Josh Hart. I saw this, this is Jeff Eisenband. I saw this tweet earlier today. It's pretty funny. Josh Hart commented on it, but it's true. Yo, might be a slight chance at maybe getting an offensive rebound here. Josh Hart. Oh, because he's everywhere. He's everywhere. I love every play. I love that guy. And some things have broken in the Knicks' favor. Some things have broken in the Knicks' favor where you see, you know, some of the injuries. Obviously, Joel Embiid's injury being one of them. But what happened to the Bucks? You know, not to say it's a guarantee the Knicks beat the Pacers, but it's certainly things are opening up for them to possibly at least get to Boston. Let's put it that way. Kevin Zwicker, is it insane for me to dream about the Knicks going to the finals the way the East is set up right now? No, it's not insane. They'd really have to have an upset in one series to get there. I'd still say it's not the most likely outcome, but it's certainly not insane. It's certainly reasonable. Bill L says that's what ESPN New York radio heads were saying. Well, that's because they're not as good as I am. Let's put it that way. I heard one particular ESPN New York radio head in the car yesterday on my way back from playing basketball, and it's just one of those things. No offense at anybody, and I like a lot of people from over there, and I've worked with a lot of people from over there, but it's just like, it does make me go like, how is this person doing this and not, you know, but jealousy is not envy is not a good trait. I'm doing it my way. It's all good. But no, it's a stupid idea to trade for Joel Embiid. Let's put it that way. Let me just say that. Justin O'Donovan, Robin, you taught me once that New York City is a basketball city at its core. Is this takeover a showing of it? I mean, yeah, look at what's happened with the Knicks and the Nets and that rivalry. Look what happened with the Knicks fans going down there, that passion, all those things. Look at how fondly the 90s Knicks are looked back on, and they never won a championship. Right? Like, look at the price tickets to get in. Like, if you want to sit courtside at MSG, look at what that costs. Both teams sell out. The Knicks and the Nets sell out. I mean, the NFL is a monster no matter where it is. So, of course, the Giants and the Jets are going to do well. Obviously, there's the history of baseball in New York. But just that heart-pounding excitement, like, I'm starting to feel it. You know, I'm at daddy-daughter dance yesterday. People are talking about the Knicks. I'm on text chains. People are talking about the Knicks. I'm seeing people come in and out of places, hearing them talking to each other about the Knicks. You see Knicks fans travel down to the Sixers and take over that game. There is a Knicks fever right now. There is a Knicks hysteria right now. And I do believe that. I do believe at its core, New York wants to be a basketball town. The teams just didn't let that be the case for the longest time. That was the point I used to make on the radio. Now, the other basketball team in New York, and I know you guys, some of you like to make fun of it and say, you know, they're Jersey and they don't have any fans, but that's not really true. Or else Knicks fans wouldn't be talking about it all the time. They benefit from what happened to the Phoenix Suns, who were just swept out of the NBA playoffs. You know, and look, I like KD. Look at that on my wall right behind me. That is a exchange I have with KD where he basically asked me what I wanted to know about the situation when he had demanded the trade, not last summer, but the summer prior. And I gave him a list and he said, keep dreaming, Robin. And then I was like, I responded sarcastically. We had a back and forth. We had an exchange in the DMs actually the week after as well, a long exchange in the DMs. He types very fast. I like him. I think he's funny on Twitter or X. I think he's a hell of a basketball player. But we got to be real about him now being the CD, the common denominator, KD, in a lot of situations that fell apart. Because now we're hearing about him not being happy in Phoenix and possibly wanting out. Right after he wasn't happy with the Nets and wanted out. Right after he wasn't happy with Golden State and got out. After he left Oklahoma City to go to Golden State for the easy route. I mean, that does matter. It does. And it knocks him. He's an all-time great player because if you watch him play basketball, you know he's an all-time great player. But it knocks him down a peg in the historical rankings. It knocks him down a peg. It does. And Curry's ahead of him. I'm sorry. Curry's ahead of him. He's in the next tier. Curry won before him. Curry won after him. KD got his own team in Brooklyn. Didn't work out. Ran to the Suns. Not working out. And the Suns have no way out. They got no way out. They traded all their picks for Durant. Then they traded for Bradley Beal and that albatross of a contract. Bradley Beal's going to make like $60 million the next couple years. Has a no trade clause, or close to $60 million. Has a no trade clause. Even if you could trade him, he's a negative asset. Like if you wanted to trade Bradley Beal, you would have to give up picks to do so. Not the other way around. And the Suns have no picks to give up. So they can't trade Beal. They've got no picks to trade. They're capped out. They can't sign anybody. They can't even use various exceptions to the salary cap because of the new CBA. They have no way to improve. No way to improve. And the Brooklyn Nets have their first round pick next year. They already used one of the picks from the draft or from the trade for Noah Clowney in last year's draft, who looks pretty good. They've got their pick next year. They've got 2027. They've got 2029. And they've got a swap in 2028. Those picks are gold. If I'm the Nets, I think I hold on to those for dear life. Unless like a super duper star becomes like like Luka or Giannis becomes available. Other than that, those picks are staying close to the vest because the Nets also have a clean cap after next year. They got a clean cap after next year with the next year Ben Simmons' deal comes off. So they don't got Ben Simmons on the books after next year. Then they'll have their own pick after next year and the Suns pick after next year. Not to mention they got a future Dallas pick. So there you have it. Wu says Robin had way more to say about the Knicks when they sucked, even when he wasn't covering New York sports. What did you want from me, dude? Did I not say positive things about the Knicks just now? Did I not just give it up to the entire fan base? This is what I'm talking about with the Knicks fan police. It's this. Like, no matter what, you guys aren't happy. I gave the Knicks their flowers, dog. Plant them in Madison Square Garden. Don't whine like Joel Embiid.